Michael, back again. Okay, I know I have to email you back. Okay, let's see if we get some Facebook folks. Actually, what I just put up on my wall, and I forgot to do it on Facebook, on YouTube yet, all the links for my last episode, you know, all the government programs we talked about to buy houses and fix up houses. So right after this, I'll put those on YouTube also. So they're already on Facebook. All the programs I talked about, there's links to them so you can see the programs and whatever. And don't forget at letsgo.com/5free, you can download my report that is pretty extensive about how I show you the best places to start to get money to do anything. Yeah, and these are my best starting places for getting free money and help to do anything you want, okay? So that's at letsgo.com/5free, okay? Let's see, we got some people here. I think we got some people. Let's see, is the sign back here the right way? Can you read it? Or do I have to flip these? I have to make some changes on, you know, the reverse. I don't know if you can, or let me know if you up to it, you want to tell me if that's true. But it's Friday afternoon. You all want to go home and start drinking or whatever you do on Friday afternoon. I can't see part of it. Oh, okay. How's that? But it is readable to you, correct? That's what I'm curious about, if it's readable. Yeah. If it's not, right. Yeah, okay, that's readable. Okay, hello, you're great, never heard. I see it, okay, never heard. Sorry. I can't, they go by so fast. And then also, if anybody out there knows how to see the chat after it's over, I haven't figured out on YouTube how to see the chat. You know, what people ask me. So that's why if I don't answer a chat, get me at letsgofreeradio@gmail.com. Okay. Now, today, or actually this time, I want to cover some items, you know, some more items on real estate. So buying a house, fixing up a house, or become a real estate investor. That seems to still be a hot topic in our lives. I don't know, because Donald Trump set a big example for that or whatever. Actually, you know, his first $1 million deal was with a government property in Cincinnati. Right. And that, you know, his dad gave him that to play with or whatever. And that's what, you know, grew his empire to what it is now, you know. And so that's why I want to, before I go into about crowdfunding and peer-to-peer and other things that are on the internet to help you with buying houses and stuff, I want to tell you about another program that is a HUD program that if you're interested in being a real estate investor, and this is run at the local. Even though it's federal money, it's really run at the local government. So you got to find the local government that has it. And it's usually in your community development. So who's ever getting the community development money gets this money, and it's called the Home Investment Partnership Program. So you could Google Home Investment Partnership Program HUD, and you'll see a description of that program in what's called the Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance. How do you like that? CFDA.gov. That's the database of all the major government programs, CFDA.gov. And in there is a description of something called the Home Investment Partnership Program. Okay, now that will tell you how they give money to local governments, okay, and it's usually a county government, sometimes a state, but then again, if the state will give it to the county, so it's different, it's a different office everywhere, so I don't know, there's 5,000 cities and counties or whatever it is in this country, so there's 5,000 places this money is going, you know, but you got to find that, and see, then they give it to nonprofit organizations that want to build, you know, or fix up housing for low to moderate income people. So if you wanted to be a developer, and that's what Trump did. He was in one of these programs that was running, housing for low to moderate income people. So these are people probably making up to $50,000 a year or so. And it's to get housing for those people. That's what a lot of these government programs are. So if you want to be a real estate investor, is start learning that system. And see, that, because it's government money, is supposed to be open. So theoretically, you could see somebody else's contract that already got the money and all that kind of stuff. Because anytime anybody touches government money, that becomes open to the public. It's not like private industry, anytime the government, I have a database. If you go to Big Data Let's Go, okay, and you'll see .com, that's private, but I have a database there of all the people who got government money for their business in any way, and it's a database of millions and millions of people. So you can put in a zip code there and see who got the money. That's there. See, that's all public information. Anybody could see that stuff. Okay, now I want to also talk about how, for buying houses, fixing up houses, and things like that, that you could also use the internet. When I mean the internet is, the government's on the internet, but these are non-government. These are private organizations that are doing things, mostly platforms. See, that's what's happening. That's what's changing our society now, to me, is platforms. Because it's getting rid of the middleman. Okay, so now you could go like in peer-to-peer lending for buying a house, for finding a real estate investor, or any of these kind of financial opportunities or whatever, or money that you need, and it cuts out all the middlemen of the financial services industry. Because it's somebody in California has money to invest in anywhere, and you put your property on there and say, hey, I'm looking for investors in this, and it's all takes as a platform. Somebody figured out all this out on the platform to get rid of all this stuff. I mean, to me, the way to think of it is how, I don't know, if you get a cab, you used to get a cab, if you're old enough to remember taxis before Uber, you used to have to, you wait in the rain, nobody calls, so you call the taxi company, and they say, oh, they'll be there in 20 minutes, and they probably lie, and then they finally get there in 50 minutes or whatever, and then you have to pay them in cash and do all this kind of stuff. Well, now with things like Uber and Lyft and all these kinds of things, it's all on an app. You know exactly, you just press a button on your phone and you see that there's a taxi 2 minutes away and it'll be there and it goes right on your account. And see, it handles all the problems. So you don't need all those people in the middle to deal with all this stuff. The platform that handles all this, they take care of the insurance, they take care of everything. So that's why it's easier to be an entrepreneur. And it makes it easier to be a real estate investor or look for money to buy houses. Now, there's a bunch of websites that just, there's some that just specialize in real estate investing, So if you look at things like Realty Mogul, M-O-G-U-L, Realty, R-E-A-L-T-Y, mogul.com. And they hook up people who want to invest in real estate, people who are looking real estate investors or house flippers and all these kinds of things. And looking at they have 120,000 investors looking for deals. And they've created over $270 million of profit. I have a video interview with a woman who runs this thing too. Delightful lady. And there's other things. There's like 100 websites that do that now. 100 websites just for real estate investing. So if you want to be in the real estate business, you should know about these things. People, if you Google like even articles about house flippers and crowdfunding, and you'll see how people are using these, platforms, to get money, at a reasonable rate. And people that really just want investment, otherwise they'd be giving it to the bank, getting a low rate, you getting it from the bank at a high rate, and this way you cut out the middleman and everybody gets it cheaper. And all because of a platform. That's why the financial services industry, to me, you have to watch themselves. They're making so much money that they're probably blind to the fact that, the internet could put them out of business. And it won't happen overnight anyway, but in the long run. But plus, okay, so you have an internet. If you want to see all those 100 websites, and the big ones are like Peer Street, Real Crowd, Realty Mogul, Realty Shares, Acquire Real Estate, Lending Home, Roofstock, Patch of Land. Actually, if you go to the Real Estate Crowdfunding Review.com, the Real Estate Crowdfunding Review. That's a website that analyzes all these websites that are hooked up to real estate. So that's right. This is booming. I get notices all the time of even conferences just based on real estate investors and people looking for real estate money and all this kind of stuff. So it's a huge thing. So to get a big shopping list, because that's what you want, I think, to do anything, is not Google and find one. You want to see all, and somebody that reviews them all or whatever. The Real Estate Crowdfunding Review.com. Okay, and there's a big list there. Now for the individual, like you just need down payment money, or to put a roof on your house, or or fix up the bathroom. People are using crowdfunding for that. There's one that specializes just in house kind of real estate, and that's called featherthenest.com. It's a cute thing. And actually, I have a video interview of her also, that site, and she's still around. Because some of the, with crowdfunding, anything new in our society or something, a lot of people come and go out of the business. So you got to watch if they're still in business or all, because any new markets are sort of, feeling their way around. And, like in the beginning of the automobile industry, we had 100 manufacturers. Now we're down to 3 if we're lucky. At least in the United States. So it's the same with this. So that's Feather the Nest. Then there's another one called Honey Fund. That's a honeymoon fund. So if you, whatever. But actually, people are using traditional websites too for that. Things like, you can't use Kickstarter, but GoFundMe, Indiegogo, they have something called generosity.com, Give Forward, You Caring. These are all websites that you could use to raise funds for a home, buying a home, fixing up a home, or whatever around the house, or paying back mortgages or whatever. There's another one that's really set up as a nonprofit called modestneeds.org. modestneeds.org. And that really helps people when they're in the financial trouble with their home. You have to be approved, and you do on most of these sites have to be approved. But they all don't cost you anything. All these sites, remember, all they're doing, they're making money by just getting a very small percent, usually 5, 15%, somewhere in there, usually around 10, of the money you get. So you go on these sites and it costs you nothing to try. So then if somebody's going to give you $100,000, what the hell, you give somebody 5-10%, because you got it. Where else are you going to get it? So that's why these things are important. And they're hooking up people that wouldn't even hook up. You're sitting in your hometown, you're going to 5 banks or whatever looking for money, and they all saying the same thing. They only give money to people who don't need money. That's typical of banks. So these are other people, who want to get in the business, and they want a little higher rate, and you want a little lower rate. And if you get rid of the middleman, then you can get a lower rate, they can get a higher rate. See, and that's what's cool about using the internet for all this. And peer-to-peer loans, these are cheaper loans too than you could get anywhere else. And there's dozens of those around now popping up, because there's a lot of fat cats with money always trying to squeeze another nickel out of these things. So that's what's going on. So not only is there government programs, then there's this other stuff where you could use the internet. These are internet programs, part of the shared economy, part of the crowdfunding, part of peer-to-peer that you could use to buy property, fix up property, your own home, or become a real estate investor and be like Donald Trump. You'll be ahead of him because he doesn't use that crowdfunding money yet. He probably doesn't even know. He's still stuck on Twitter, isn't he? Okay, I'll put these notes up too soon. So look on Facebook on my wall, and on YouTube underneath, the descriptions. I'll have the links there. And the interview I did, or the video I did earlier, they're up there now. So take a look. And if you want me to do research for you, that's lesco.com/research, and I do it under I'll show you all the programs in your area for housing or for starting a business or really just for paying bills and expenses. So there are the three areas. Or if you want to talk, you want to pick my brain about what's the best thing to do thing. But what I'm really good at talking and picking my brain is showing you things you never even thought of. You know, that you could put two things together that you didn't even know. I mean, it's amazing when I talk to these people, it's like, God, I know that. So look at those reviews on lesgo.com/talk. You'll see what people said about it. I got a lot of nice reviews there, and how grateful they are, how we're able to show them things they never thought about asking. See, that's the important thing. We don't know the questions to ask. You gotta ask the right questions, or you're just gonna get the same old, which is going nowhere.